What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having the most amazing, wonderful, awesome, blessed day. And today I was thinking about what I want to do my video on today. And I'm building my platform slowly but surely. Thank you so much to all of my subscribers. Thank you for people watching my videos. Thank you so much. So today I want to talk about a gentleman. His name is Reverend Ike, and he was a pastor. He's since passed, but he was pretty popular. I want to say the 70s and 80s, and he was called a prosperity preacher. And basically, he always talked about manifestation, the power in you. You are manifesting your reality. And I was trying to think like, okay, what am I going to do my video on today? And I think the awesome thing in building a platform is you get to do it on whatever you want to do. And so I am not religious at all. I'm spiritual. I believe in higher power. I believe in God. I believe in a lot of things, but it's not very, how do I say this? It's not, I think outside the box also. So I'm not the type to let just church control me. I hope it's not controversial to say that, but I believe in God, but I believe in the God in you and things of that nature. I may have to do a whole separate video on that, but I'm pretty positive. I'm very spiritual. I'm very in tune. But with that, I do think outside the box, and I do like to think for myself. I think a lot of times people have dogma, and they just take someone else's ideas and thought patterns and just accept it as their own. And me, I kind of fight back. Even if I agree, I kind of want to see how we got to this point, what led up to this particular thing, why do we believe this, why do I believe that? And I really do try to go within myself and just think like, okay, why is this even a thing? Why do we do this? Why do we pray like this? And what works for me, basically. I try to say what works for me. And to continue, I try to say what works for me. And so I want to say, a few years ago, I ran across one of his videos. So you guys know I'm like super into manifestation. I love to like watch manifestation methods and all that. And I think that's how I initially got introduced to him. It was about a manifestation video, and he was just going over, like he was basically doing a sermon. And this is like really, it was a few years ago. I was not going to church. I was praying at home. I was like the friend that's like, yep, I'll watch it on TV. I just feel like, and that may be a whole nother video too, but I like my own energy, and I don't like to be a part of a crowd in that way. Like I get fellowshipping and I get that, but sometimes I like to just get my own books and read it and try to determine how I feel, and then maybe, go fellowship. But I don't want other people's opinions just to kind of dictate, because I think that sometimes, you can get caught up in kind of taking on someone else's ideas and opinions. So anyway, so I saw one of his manifestation videos, and then I was like, dang. And mind you, like the video is like from the 80s, like it has the 80s clothes and everything. It was just like old school, but I love the message. And I was like, who is this Reverend Ike? So of course me and my little Google fingers went to work, and so I looked him up, and then I've been hooked ever since. I subscribed to his page, like I subscribe on Instagram. Like I said, he has since transitioned, but he has a lot of amazing messages. And as I was thinking what this video was going to be about, I was like, you know what, this is amazing to show this side. I'm going to input some videos that I have found helpful, that have helped me in my journey. And sometimes you really know the message already, but you need that friendly reminder as to, just to remember like how to go about it, how to, thoughts become things. Thoughts really do become things, and how you can manifest. And his specialty was manifesting money. And we all need that money, honey. So I'm gonna put some videos that I have enjoyed after this, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. This is not going to be the first video about Reverend Ike, because I really do love what he taught, what he stood for, the messages. If I remember, he was, I forgot, it was Christian, but I forget the denomination. But I think that his message hits everyone, even if you're not Christian, whatever, you know, spirituality you are. I think his message really does hit, and it really does show that don't let that, you know, don't let that separate us. Sometimes I think that church and religion, it separates people. It brings people together, but it's also like, oh, you're Muslim, I'm Christian, da-da-da. And it's like, you guys, we're all just people. Like, let's just all find a common ground. But I think that whatever religion you are, whatever spirituality you are, I think that he has an amazing message, and I want to share it, and I hope that you guys enjoy it too. And please just let me know what you think. Okay, so be brave.
You are not going to get anywhere in life, spiritually or otherwise, until you come to that point where you don't give a damn what people think about you. As long as you worry about what other people think about you, you will be mediocre. It only matters what you believe about yourself. Believe in yourself as a successful person. Believe that you can and you will. But until you believe you can, you won't. You will become whatever you're fascinated with. You always become whatever you're fascinated with. This is the law of mind. If you become fascinated by poverty, you become poor. You become fascinated with sickness and the reports of all kinds of diseases, you will become sick. Whatever you become fascinated with, you'll get it and it'll get you. This is the law of mind, and it works with anything. So do not become fascinated with what you do not want. If you want to be wealthy, become fascinated with wealth. Become fascinated with wealthy people. If you want to be successful and prosperous, become fascinated with successful, prosperous people.
Let me give you my definition of God, and this will address that question. I say that God is thought, and the Lord is the law by which thought operates. And in the Bible, God says, I am. And to me, I am is the revelation of God as thinking. And so I say that God is a man's very own thought. And the presence of God is in every man as mind. And God says again in the Bible, command you me. And so when a man comes into command and mastery of the powers and the talents that are within him, he is actually commanding the good that God has put within him to be what he wants to be, do what he wants to do, have what he wants to have, and in turn he can make a contribution to others and to the common good. You see, we try to help people become self-found, because you're not successful until you find yourself. This is why people fail in relationships. This is why they fail in life, because they don't know themselves. The Greeks had the saying, man, know thyself. But Jesus said, you shall know the truth. You've got me preaching now.
No, yes. Well, let me say, though, that I think, would you admit that what made your program really sell is you were teaching it to essentially
let me tell you, the white people are paying me $10,000 an hour now to do prosperity seminars, because they understand the power of the mind. Black people were not brought here and taught the power of the mind. They were not brought here to use their minds. They were brought here to use their behinds as slaves. And too many black people are still into this thing, and they don't understand the power of the mind. A black militant said to me in Chicago, Reverend Ike, what are you doing to help the black people? I said, I'm giving them positive self-image psychology, positive self-motivation. He said, that ain't S. And people have got to understand the power of the mind. Black people, and any people for that matter, need to understand mind power, green power, and vote power. And I'm preaching this from the pulpit, which is not the usual kind of gospel that you get in a black church or any church, unless it's one of the mind science type churches. And this is unusual for a black man to tell people about the power of the mind. A black preacher is supposed to be telling people about the pie in the sky by and by when you die. And I have the audacity to say, you can have it now. I have the audacity to say, hey, listen, you don't have to wait until God comes back from vacation. God is within you right here, right now, and you can get in touch with this God power and be what you want to be and do what you want to do right here, right
Sleep
now.
every night. Visualize yourself being, doing, and having the good which you desire. Because while you are asleep, your conscious mind is in abeyance for a longer period of time than at any other period in your daily life. And when you impress the subconscious just before going to sleep, the subconscious works with that idea that you've given it, even while you're asleep. The subconscious mind will be correlating you with all of the good which you have visualized. You say you may not realize it, but your mind is working for you, even while you are asleep. And the mastermind within you says that if I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto me. And whatever idea you lift up before your subconscious mind, before you go to sleep, that idea is impressed upon the subconscious and it draws that to you. You'll wake up in the morning and the right ideas will just be clicking in your head.
You're only going to find the happiness in other people that you first of all have found within your own being. If you're not happy with yourself, you're not going to be happy with anybody else. If you're not happy with yourself, you're not going to be happy with the second husband or the second wife. And here again, in my counseling people who are about to get married, and I see a beautiful couple down here who are about to get married. I call them my lovebirds because they're so loving. So I pass this on to them, and I pass this on to all of you. Do you know, it's a wonderful thing to find someone and fall in love with them. But be careful that you do not think that it is someone else's responsibility to make you happy. Do not give someone else the responsibility for your happiness, and do not blame anyone else for your misery. As long as you think that someone else is responsible for your happiness and to blame for your misery, you're always going to be unhappy and miserable. So it's not that old so-and-so that makes you unhappy and miserable. You have got to get to work within your own self and find your happiness. Now, to move on quickly, you're not going to be happy with anything until you find happiness within yourself. You're not going to be happy anywhere until you find the happiness within your own self. If you're a miserable person, you'll be miserable wherever you go. If you have found your happiness within yourself, you will be happy wherever you go.
I'll ask you each this question, beginning with you, Reverend Ike. How is it that man can have the healing power?
Well, in my belief, I teach each person that the presence of God, the presence of good, whatever you call God, is within you. And when you recognize that presence and call upon it, it makes you whole. It gives you power over whatever comes against you, be it poverty, or sickness of the body, or some illness in your affairs. So it is by means of the God in you that you come in contact with healing and experience healing.
Does it happen to anybody who wants to be healed?
In principle, it can. Not because of me as a person or believing in me as a person. It's because a person believes in the presence and the power of God within himself or herself that they can experience this healing. All illness is really in the mind of the spirit.
Yes.
Everything basically comes from the unseen side of
not
life.
deny money. If thou deny money, money will deny thee. If thou art accused of having much money, deny it not. Never say, I don't have any money, even if you don't. Let the weak say, I am strong. How many of you jokingly have had people say to you, oh, you sure look good, you must have a lot of money, and you smile with that modesty and say, oh, no, I don't have, no. How many of you have ever done that? Raise your cotton pickers. There we go. Never do that again. Never in any way. Down with false modesty of every kind. If somebody says you look good, smile and look better.